Hey there, guys. This is David with Tarot and Astrology for All. The last video cut out. I don't know why. It seems that it doesn't have any set time frame. It just cuts off whenever it wants to cut off. So we are just going to continue from where we left off with the other video. And sorry for the person who, please excuse the video cutting off. I don't know what happened. It just cut off. So we're going to continue where we left off. We were talking about Taurus and them, having been lazy I don't know for how long, but there's been certain things that Taurans have been letting go. And Taurans know that they have to put in the work, right, in order to reap the results. But if they're not putting in the work, then nothing will be built. And that's exactly what's being shown here with the Master Maker in the reverse. Now, I also mentioned that Taurans were, in a sense, being watched by the universe, understanding that there is a transformation that's going to be taking place, and that there's been certain things that they've let go of, but there's certain other things that they have to let go of as well in order to prevent any instability from taking place. And so I feel like Taurans have gotten over quite a bit. I think that Taurans are finally starting to come around, some of them. But I do feel that some of them do have that necessity to let go of certain things, and it can kind of be hard for Taurans. So, all right. So, Spirit Dancer in the reverse. Wow, this is actually like one of the few times where I've seen a card like this for Taurus, and I've seen this card for Taurus in the past. But what this is telling me is that I feel like you guys aren't able to reach for your dreams. And because you guys aren't able to reach for your dreams, you guys aren't able to create things. And because you guys aren't able to create things, well, why do the work, right? It's like putting in work for something that's not going to be created. Are you going to want to do that, right? But I think for lack of a better term, there is a necessary need to understand that, first of all, everything that's happening for you right now is karmic. We're all going through karmic changes. And for you specifically, Taurus, with the Singer of Courage, you're meant to have courage during this time. At the same time, there's a necessary need to understand that things that are happening to you right now are not happening against you, but they're happening for you. And once you actually understand that they're happening for you, then you can start to understand why you need courage, or you start to understand where you need courage. Now, I personally, I think for some of you guys, this is a surprise. Like, um, for you to hear that this is a blessing in disguise. Us Earth signs, we can have a challenging time of understanding that, but we only stop ourselves from ending certain things and coming to certain conclusions and letting certain cycles end, or not letting certain cycles end when we know we have to do the work but we don't. And I feel like this is something having to do with work, but I very much feel that for you, Taurus, this is inner work. This is shadow work. Fairly certain that it's what's causing you not to be balanced, and part of it also has to do with your dreams and aspirations. It's never too late to go after your dreams. And I've been saying, I still remember your dream, and I've kept it with me this whole time. What about you? Like, do you remember this? Do you remember you used to talk about this so much? You remember you used to voice it out so much? What happened? Did you not do the work? I mean, ask yourself that, Taurus, because when you find out, why it is, and I believe not just laziness, but I believe it's like procrastination is what came to my mind right now. That needs to be cut out, plain and simple. Cut it out. I have a feeling that a lot of it has to do with fears that have no basis. Like you're afraid of something, or of a something within something, and you don't want to do the work, but you still want results. That's insanity. But I feel that a lot of those fears that you have, they're unfounded. They don't have no basis. They don't have any factual basis. And really it's just yourself that's flippity flopping and like messing up this energy, and it's causing you to be unhappy. But you know, in within all of this is there's just a necessary need in order to listen to the music of the universe. Once you do that, you actually become the alchemist of your life. So there's that. Now let's go into the Rider Waite. So yeah, one of the reasons why you haven't been manifesting is because you haven't really been like listening to the universe. The universe has been trying to give you a cup for a while, and well, you haven't been paying attention to it. I feel like there's been boredom, but more, I don't feel boredom or apathy, which is what this card usually is about. I feel like it's disappointment. Like you did so much work, and then you're saying, "This is all I get." Is that what you're feeling, Taurus? Like this is what I'm getting goosebumps. Oh, I haven't gotten goosebumps in a while, but that's definitely what this is. This is definitely focusing in on the home front, but at the same time, it's focusing in on what you physically have in front of you, not necessarily understanding what you have spiritually around you. I'm very sure that makes sense to you now, Taurus. I'm very sure that makes sense to you now. All right. This is what you're looking for. I mean, this is what you were trying to reach for, wasn't it? Stability of some kind, happiness, celebration. Like, I feel like this is what you were reaching for, and because it didn't exactly come out the way that it needed to, that you just stopped putting in the work. You stopped putting in the effort. And right now, I think you're just doing things just to do things and not really doing things because of the value they add. So with that moon in Taurus, this is definitely a time for you guys to take a look at what you value and who you value. And at the same time, don't be hasty and don't rush into things whenever they pop up. Think about it. Don't view it with the same old eyes that you've been viewing it before, because those same old eyes are viewing that at those three cups. It is not viewing at what the universe is trying to give to this person. Also, I feel like a lot of you guys have been working more by yourselves, or focusing more on yourselves, being by yourselves, more of like, I wouldn't say selfish energy, but like just not wanting to work with other people. So a lot of that has to do with the Virgo energy. I think that by this time, like you've grown accustomed to doing things on your own and being by yourself. That's how you roll. You roll by yourself. However, that is exactly what's keeping you from ending this cycle, because deep down, this cycle is happening as a way of showing you that you need to do the work in order to get the results, but you also need to do that shadow work as well. And until you do that shadow work, and I don't know why I'm holding on to Scorpio, I guess. Uh, Wait, hold on. Let me make sure of that. Okay, so Taurus, 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 Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio. Wait, hold on. So Taurus, Leo. It's two souls. Okay. and then the Scorpio and Aquarius. Okay, so yeah, so basically, what I'm seeing here is that there's inner work that needs to be done. Now, this inner work, first off, starts off value, right? Then you move down into the Leo energy, which is the card right here, or which is the face right here. That Leo energy is what gives you courage. It's what gives you passion. It's what allows you to be able to move forward. Then, as that inner work is done, and you find that confidence within yourself, you move fearlessly just like a Scorpio would. And you cause transformations not just within yourself, but within those in your vicinity. And then after you've done that, Taurus, after you've done that, then what ends up happening is you end up having that Aquarian energy. That Aquarian energy allows you to be able to network with everybody, and you can't network with everybody if you have fear that somebody is going to pull a fast one on you or anything like that. But that's where listening to the messages of the universe come in. And I think that the reason why you can't make a decision just yet is because there's a necessary need to focus. And that's also what I get with this card too, because when you think about the bee, the focus is right on the bee, right? So I believe this is a test of the emergency broadcasting system. No, just kidding. No, this is definitely a test. It's to show you your worth and who you are. And I mean, Taurus, the moon in Taurus, that's a perfect time for you to understand what you feel and how you feel, and then to be able to express that when necessary. All right, so let's see what comes out. Oh, definitely Scorpio energy. Okay, so some of you guys are in that Scorpio energy, moving on into the Aquarian energy. So you guys are like on that green mile, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. You guys are on that green mile, and so some of you guys have already found your worth. Some of you guys have already gone through the necessary tools to bring about your self confidence, and at the same time, you guys are now starting to move forward with a fearless manner. Some of you guys, I feel, are still stuck within the Leo to the Scorpio phase, right? The building up the confidence in order to move forward fearlessly, while some of you guys are already moving fearlessly and you guys are already networking and all of that. So that's actually really cool. Second, uh, this is about relationships for you guys. So in terms of relationships, it's how you go about these relationships that really matters. Um, if we're dealing with the Aquarian energy, let's see, 12, 11, 10. This definitely will have something to do with your work for some of you. And a lot of this it's having to do with like trying to build a dream. That's basically what you're trying to do, Taurus. I know you want to build a dream, but if you feel like your efforts are wasted, well then are you really going to make the effort? Not really. Cut out what needs to be cut out and work towards everything else. With the sun being the main focus, and then the North Node and Mercury, what's happening here is that in order for you to build this stability that you're looking for, not only do you have to think about what it is that you want to do, but then you have to follow through with that passion and do it. Like I said, some of you guys are going to be giving good money advice to other people. Some of you guys are going to be making good money decisions. And I mean, regardless of how you look at it, these decisions, you need focus. And in order for you to read these intuitive messages that are coming in that need to be passed out to other people, you're going to have to focus. And then that's how you bring your stability. That's how you bring in or that's how you create your kingdom. So this is karmic with that 8. At the same time, it's stuck between the 7 and the 12. And so I feel that how you go about this expansion depends a lot on that Mercury aspect and how you think about it and how you go over that information in your mind. Right now, you have Mercury in your 11th house, and you have the North Node in your third house. So I know you've been communicating about this. You've been communicating with a lot of different people, Taurus, about how you can do this, uh, how you can provide care and nurturing for others by giving them good advice, or by giving them sound advice, I should say. So with that, there definitely things are karmic for you with that number 8 popping up. And yeah, because four plus four, that also equals to 8. I mean, this is definitely karmic. And this is definitely things having to do with the home. So thank you, Taurus. Let's see, what other signs do we have? So we did that, and that. I need Capricorn and Pisces. You know what? I do not remember if I did Pisces. But even if I didn't, I will go ahead and do it anyways. If there's anything extra that Pisces needs to hear, they will go ahead and hear it. But let's see. Who's going first, Capricorn or Pisces? Pisces. All right. So Pisces, you guys are going to be dealing with the Gemini aspect. So like things like communication. This could be anything that has to do with writing. But this mostly has to do with air signs or air aspects. Communication to the network is what I get when you have Gemini and Aquarius. More so about your communication than the network. It's how you communicate that. You can speak, but will they listen? I think for the most part, they will. You have you have Uranus and you have Venus in Taurus, and Taurus is your third house, and that deals with communication. So automatically, you're dealing with communication of your dreams, communication of your inspiration, communication of your train of thought and your ideas, and like the way that you make it seem beautiful. And so with that, that's perfect for going into this reading now. All right, Pisces. Let's see what's going on. Crocodile. All right, so the crocodile, I feel like Pisces has been hiding underwater. Like, I feel like Pisces has been looking at things, observing things, like this is the water level and this is Pisces. It's just like, eh, dip back underwater. But I feel that there is another necessary aspect. Now, I'm just going to draw another card for you guys simply because I feel I have to. Oh, this one's about to fall out. All right, so yeah, this is definitely about moving into a new thing, moving out of the water, so to speak, and beginning things like anew. I mean, we might not be comfortable with noob type energy or going into things as if we're new, especially if we're Pisces, because Pisces, we have an intuitive understanding of various different things, right? But I believe that the universe is calling you to approach this with a new mind, approaching this with approaching this by as if you've never approached it before. Like if you've never dipped your head out of the water, like if you've never left your home, treat it like if it's something new. I believe that whatever it is that you may be noticing may not be new. And I know that for a fact that you guys may have messages flittering in and out, high frequency messages, right? But I think that in some way, shape, or form, you guys are like the shark in the reverse. It's almost like you've kind of like you were so deep that you kind of lost where you were going or what you were going after. And so I feel that just because you're going into this not really knowing or in a state of uncertainty, that earthworm energy is definitely going to help because then you allow the universe to operate through you naturally. I feel like you guys are focusing a lot on the bigger picture and not really realizing your own part, if that fits for you. And so, not knowing where to go and how to do it, it's going to leave you with the beaver energy in the reverse, which is not an industrious worker, it's not a hard worker or anything. Like, I feel that as you've felt this, that you haven't been doing some of the things that you feel that you know are necessary, it's brought a little bit of an unhappiness. I feel like this card is mostly about being joyful, being social, right? Being communicative and intelligent. I feel like this is like belly flopped you in a way. And I feel that the energy that you're undergoing right now very strongly has to do with how you open up yourself. I mean, plain and simple. It's how you open up yourself. All right, so now we will move into that oyster card. I would actually attribute that card to you, Pisces, because you more so than Cancer will hold on to things. Too much. All right, so yes, it's time to move out of your comfort zone, Pisces. You have the fairy godmother, and the fairy godmother is one of those cards that allows you to have your wish, whatever it is that you may have been thinking about. This is like it's almost like you drew the Joker card, so you have the ability to create whatever it is that you want, and the fairy godmother is here to create it for you. Question is, do you know what you want and how you want it? That's the main question to ask here. And also, I feel like you need to be a little bit more nurturing to yourself. I feel like you need to tap into those creative energies. Um, and tapping to that creative energy, I'm not talking about tapping into the creative energy that you're well aware of. I'm talking about tapping into energy that leads you into new places, to lead you out of your comfort zone. Because I feel like you should be looking at the good of this situation, but more or less you're focusing on the bad. Some of you. I feel like others of you have already figured this out and you're understanding how to flip your situations around. So that's actually really good. For others of you, I feel like some of you guys have kind of like reached for a dream, but then kind of lost your way. So getting that lost way uh, comes in. However, the singer of intuition is telling you you have the ability to connect to intuition. Like it's a God given skill. Like to you, Pisces, literally, you're the 12th house. You are the deep of the deep. Like you help us to figure out our true strengths and our true abilities, right? Before we move into the first house and actually set that in motion. But what's happening for you is that you're undergoing a transformation already. You're undergoing a transformation, and I feel like this is a surprise to you, but your intuition has been telling you already, so it's not that much of a surprise. And I feel that, with you drawing um the fairy who's kissed by the pixies, I feel like you understand this or will understand this soon enough, because this card right here is the last card that I'm drawing. It's right side up, Laguna. Laguna in the reverse is about boredom and about the things that no longer provide that fresh new start. And this is like understanding that there's so much more. There's so much more out there, getting ready to take that leap. which is exactly what you need to take. Pisces, you need to take that leap. If anybody understands faith as much as uh, Sagittarius, that's you. All right, so okay, there's way too much cards, but they all fell in the face up. So I do have to mention a little bit about this. All right, so first off, the what I get is the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Now, this is telling me you're happy by yourself right now. So I feel like you're going to be going off by yourself. Also, I feel like there have been certain things that have been like disappointing to you, but you're getting over them, which is a good thing. And if you're expecting communication, be expecting it soon enough. It's going to be coming. And I know you've been wanting a new start. It's not going to happen just yet. I mean, I feel like it's coming soon because these cards, they fell in the upright. So anytime you have a card in the reverse, right, it has that ability to flip over to the upright. However, I do feel that this does have something to do with letting go of certain aspects of yourself and just treating this as if you were new. Did Cinderella know what to do, with all of this stuff when she went to the ball? No, she just, well, she experienced it and she enjoyed it. I mean, that's basically what you got to do here, Pisces. So you just got to enjoy what the universe brings to you, and don't try to like treat this as something that maybe you've seen before, or maybe you've like seen a vision of it or something. Just treat it as if it's new, like if you've never seen it before, and that's how you bring balance to your life. I feel that the balance in and of itself is not like a physical balance per se. This is more of like an emotional, spiritual, mental type of balance that you guys are going to be experiencing. Now, it could be very well that you guys meet up with the Libra. That doesn't necessarily have to be a Libra, but this is a card of Libra. So don't be surprised if you um, start something new or begin something new with the Libra. They're very good to help you bring balance to your life. And also, yes, moving forward with confidence. You have the Nine of Pentacles, and this is the card of pretty much confidence. This could be financial confidence, but I feel like if you can tune into this natural energy, this creative energy, it's going to leave you in a very, very balanced position, both emotionally and mentally, which is actually the card of a manifester. Like, or the energy of a manifester. I very much feel that you guys are going to be working in groups. It could be an air sign and an earth sign that you work with, right? That's something that could be a possibility. Air, Gemini, and Aquarius seem to be popping up. Um, Taurus can also be a possibility of somebody who you will work with. And also, I feel like you've been planning on working together with other people. Whether some of you have done so or not already, well, that's only, I mean, mention it in the comments below. But I do very much feel that you guys are going to be working in groups. And I believe that as all three of you reach a certain coherence, all three of you are going to be making strides forward. So that's very good. This is also about communication too. So I feel that you're gonna need to communicate, uh, possibly with that earth sign or that air sign or both, or the possibility of a fire sign. And one thing I want to draw out is that I believe that in some way, shape, or form, you might try to be hasty with this, but don't be. Like, the idea is that you're moving forward into something that's new and unknown, and you're moving forward with lots and lots of energy. I mean, I'm talking about you're talking about the two fastest signs here, air signs and fire signs. So you're going to be moving forward with with passion, with persistence, with energy, ambition, moving forward with intellect, but just make sure that your decisions are soundly based, and make sure that when you move, that it's not due to no reason. I feel that you guys are kind of locked up in love right now, or like you guys feel like you want to just keep to yourself in terms of love, but um, I think you guys just need to have strength. That's all. I mean, it's plain and simple. Have strength, trust the universe. It will bring you everything you need, and as it brings you everything you need, you're gonna have the ability um, to move forward. Now, I want to go ahead and draw. I'm gonna roll these. All right, so it's definitely going to be dealing with Scorpio and researching, right? But it's also going to be Virgo and Cancer influence, in which, well, analyze the details, but make sure that you don't work hard or too hard, right? And at the same time, provide that self care to yourself. But I would say provide that care and nurturing to others as well. And let's see, you're also going to be dealing with Martian energy, the North Node. So you're going to be pushed towards wherever it is that you need to go. Don't fight it, let it happen. And you're going to see this, and then you're going to realize the beauty in it, which is what I'm getting out of this with these dice rolls. And it's going to bring stability, it's going to allow you to move forward, but it's also going to allow you to make these changes and communicate these changes as you go. So I will be right back real quick. I need to use the bathroom. Alrighty. All right, here we are. Here we are. All right, so now we are on who? The last sign, right? So we've done Aries, we've done Taurus, and Gemini, and Cancer, and Leo, and Virgo, and Libra, and Scorpio, and Sagittarius, and Aquarius, and Pisces. So now we need to do Capricorn. All right, so let's see what Capricorn has going on for them. Oh, and let's see. Let's see. Communication. All right. And along with communication, I feel that the main message that Capricorn needs to hear is moving forward with ambition, moving forward with assertiveness. A lot of this has to do with viewing your value, and at the same time knowing that as you care for others, you're going to have to provide self-care for yourself, Capricorn. So Um, that's very interesting. The Tauran, I mean, we got Uranus and Venus in Taurus. You got the North Node in Cancer, and then you got Chiron and the Sun in uh, in Aries. So right now, some of the planets are squaring your ascendant, Capricorn. So there might be tension in like how you put yourself out, and well, for those of you who have Cancer on the ascendant, some of you guys may be having trouble with like how you put yourself out. You know how you put yourself out in terms of your job, your career, your status, and all that, right? If you have the Pisces MC, how you put yourself out, you know, doing things like this. And so a lot of what's going on for you, Capricorn, is building the life that you want to live. I mean, if we're going from uh if we're going from the Capricorn, you know, all the way around to Sagittarius being the last sign, you have all of these planets going from your first house to your second, and your second house is in Aquarius. So especially for those of you who are born around the same time as I was, 4:42 in the evening, and born on the 7th of January in 1986. Wow, can't even, I'm forgetting my own birthday. Okay, uh, for those of us, we have these planets going into Aquarius, which is our seventh house, right? But if this is something having to do with seventh and second house, you know, Capricorn being the first and Aquarius being the second from whole house signs, then this is definitely dealing with not just relationships, but also how you value yourself in these relationships, as well as how these people in the relationships that you're in value you. I have a feeling that a lot of you guys have not been valued. Part of it has to do with my own story, but I do feel that based on all the other Capricorns that I know, I mean, we haven't really exactly been cared for like the last like 4 or 5 years, right? So this is a time that we've had to provide self-care for ourselves. Um, but in this day and age, you might find yourself communicating your dreams and your inspirations and your train of thoughts and like what you want to do. This could be something on a spiritual level, but I think it's more of understanding the workings of the universe. Now, some of you guys might be having like trouble within the home, things that like kind of pique your irritability and stuff like that. It's all a test. It's all a test, guys. It's a test to see how you learn from it, as well as a test to how you express that within the home. Are you going to give care and nurturing, or are you going to have trouble finding that? Right. So personally, I think that all signs, not just Capricorn right now, are feeling that North Node energy in Cancer in square with that energy from the Sun and Chiron. But we all know that through these wounds, we find out the information we need. So, focusing in on that Cancer energy, 4, 5, you know, and if we're dealing with the moon in our fifth house as a Capricorn, then we're dealing with the stuff that like really that we love to do, that it's we have fun and pleasure out of it. So I believe that us Capricorns are going for what really pleases us right now, at least for these next couple days, as opposed to anything else. So let's see, fifth house, fourth house, third house, first or second, yeah, and that's pretty much everything that. Oh, and relationships, Cancer in seventh house, yeah, this is definitely dealing with relationships, communication in your relationships, viewing your own value in the relationships, and understanding that you have to provide your own self-care. Kind of tough message to give a Capricorn, but Capricorn's used to struggles. So, I mean, yeah, see, there has been stuff that has been like wanting, like causing you to want to strike, and like it's all been just a downward energy. But the energy from the cobra can actually be harnessed in a positive manner and to create anti-venoms for the venoms that that they might inject into a person. So I feel that whatever venoms you might feel, with these things that are going on within your home sector, these are things to help with increasing your understanding of why you feel that way, as well as how to keep yourself from feeling or from expressing yourself in that way. And so with the cobra in the reverse, I have a feeling that a lot of you Capricorns have already done the inner work. You understand what it is that affects you and why it affects you. And so I feel like you guys have learned from the Saturn being in our sign influence and understanding that everything is happening when it needs to happen. So it allows us to kind of drop our guard a lot more easily and allows us to just be able to do what it is that we want to do without being uh, being affected by the energy that might affect that. Something that might get us to act irrational. So there's that. All right. So with the elephant, I just felt I had to draw another one. I don't know why I did, but I just did it. A lot of you guys might be burning the candle at both ends. Don't lie to me, Capricorn. I am up at 2 o'clock in the morning doing these videos, like burning the candle at both ends. Now, the elephant in the reverse, it's like if this helps to remove obstacles that are in your way, this is placing those obstacles in your way for a certain purpose. Like, I feel like these obstacles that are in your way are meant for you to not just, blow through them like a Capricorn would and just fucking, knock on the fucking door and fucking eventually knock a fucking hole in the door. No, this is something that's being shown to you, Capricorn, because it's necessary for you to understand what kind of role it plays in your life. Like when an obstacle comes into your path, it's not meant for you to break through it like a stubborn motherfucker. It's meant for you to understand why it's there and to go around it, right? To go around, just if this is your path and this is that log, you're supposed to go around it and understand why that log was there. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe it's not the right place. Maybe it's not with the right people. And this is something that these obstacles will show you. I know for me, I've learned that whatever it is that I've been wanting to do is not something that's going to be found in this place. Not I mean, I'm not talking about YouTube, but I'm talking about here in this place, the Imperial Valley where I live at the moment. It's not conducive. I mean, right here is conducive for relationships and understanding how those relationships work, at least for me, but they don't, it's nothing for business or anything like that. I would have to move to a different area of the world in order for me to take on that energy. So let's see what else we can draw from this. Honestly, though, I feel like a lot of you need to meditate, maybe need to learn yoga, just simply because you have the snake in the reverse. And I feel that when the snake energy is in the reverse, the person can tend to be cut off from intuition, might not be seeing the whole picture, right? And just generally out of balance. I feel like some of you Capricorns are out of balance. And in the same way, you guys are out of balance. However, you are learning to let go of a lot of various different things. You understand that the cycle is ending and that a new one is starting. And you have to let go of certain things in order for you to be able to understand it. On a deeper level, you understand the deeper meanings of things as opposed to just looking at the superficial beauty and allure and all of that. You go for the deepness, Capricorn. And I feel that a lot of you guys have been becoming more and more and more confident in yourselves. Like I feel like you guys have learned the lesson of building your spine And now that you've built your spine and that you've activated your chakra centers and your spine, your whole chakra column, I guess you could say, what ends up happening is that you start to understand the ancient wisdom that's given to you. You understand how you move through uncertainty, how you move through darkness. And I feel that a good number of you Capricorns have understood this uncertainty principle and how to remain certain in uncertain times. And that's by trusting your intuition, which is exactly what the Tiger card is. It's about trusting your intuition. It's about, right, understanding the patterns of life. And if I said burning the candle at both ends with that elephant, I mean, the tiger is naturally a nighttime animal. And so in the stillness of night, you might have your epiphanies. Pay attention to that, Capricorn. That would help you to see the past, the present, and the future, which I think right now, some of you Capricorns aren't able to see. Like, things are so uncertain at the moment that, well, we kind of just have to play it by intuition. Play it by ear, right? All right. So let's move on to I said short, but I try to keep these short. It just doesn't happen. The only way I can keep them short is if I do them side by side, which I will be doing. Okay, so some of you guys have been affected by instability. Some of you guys might be having foot issues. Some of you guys might be having ankle issues. Maybe some of you guys are suffering from the from like some type of foot ailment. But I think overall, for the majority of you Capricorns, though, I feel like this is more of the necessary need to try to bring stability back into your life. Now, I feel this instability is being caused by the way that you've acted in the past, and well, if you've been acting any type of like cobra way where you don't have patience, where you just strike at somebody, it's going to be necessary to look at that. Like that person might actually be an obstacle, and 4747 might be something, an angel number that you might look into. But if we can take this cobra energy and turn it into something positive, we have the ability to bring stability into our lives, and we have the ability to heal it. And that's all I get from that. Flap the Footer is also about walking on a bumpy path. I mean, that's not something that I draw from the card itself, but that's something that I think about when somebody's sitting on a mushroom holding their feet. Like fuck, that shit hurt. Whatever they walk through, that fucking shit hurt. And so now they have to sit down and take a rest, right? So I feel like a lot of you Capricorns have been going through a situation that has not been the prettiest and hasn't really been the most stable thing that you've experienced in your life. But I believe that there's lessons to learn from that, right? Patience, persistence. These are things that a Capricorn is very well aware of. Oh, look at that. So part of the reason why I feel Capricorns have gotten what they've gotten so far is because they're harvesting what they reaped. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, well, you have to look into your past in order to find out. But a lot of Capricorns, I feel, are coming to some type of fruition of some effort that they've put out to the universe. Because when I talk about burning the candles at both ends, staying up late, stuff like that, this is stuff that you see. This is the kind of thing that you'll find allows for a person to have a better harvest, right? And so I feel that for those of you who are working hard right now, or who have been working hard, I feel that if you haven't harvested or you haven't reaped what you've sown, that you will soon enough. I feel that some of you have already reaped what you sown, and so for some of you guys that was instability, and for others of you guys that was a pretty good harvest, I would say. Because, like, I mean, if you take a look at this card, that's a lot of stuff they got. They had a good harvest. And so, but overall, I think that we just need to figure out, like, we need to see the blessings in disguise. I mean, you're not the only sign that has gotten this card upright or reversed, but with Mikamakul, I think for the most part, Capricorns need to understand that what's happening for them right now is a blessing in disguise. It's something to remove them from the spirit of saying one thing and doing another. It's also to remove you from the aspect of, like, maybe thinking one thing and then doing something else, right? Because that right there doesn't show focus. That doesn't show uh, proper energy, really. If somebody's doing one thing but they said they were going to do another, that's lying, basically. So I feel like some Capricorns are lying, not just to other people, but I think they're lying to themselves. And there's a necessity for the Capricorn to tap into their artistic abilities. I mean, your artistic abilities are what are going to make you famous right now. And that's for all Capricorns, not just one Capricorn, two Capricorns. It's all Capricorns. The way that you artistically go about how you make your bread, how you, because Tom, he's a poet. He understands poetry and songwriting and all of that. So if you give Tom the poet the time, he will show you what you feel inside and how you can best move past that by what you write down. That's something that I know I've come to learn about my music. So any new music that you guys see me come out with here shortly, that is very much an indication of the different changes that have gone on in my life, as well as how I've come to terms with them and understand how to move forward from that point. Now, we understand that there's not going to be a new start anytime soon. This is kind of like understanding why the obstacles are there, as opposed to having to take a leap of faith. I feel like this is more of like a step back, so that we can take those two steps forward, right? And that's what I get from this, Capricorn. Um, I feel like a lot of you have fears that are unfounded, right? Fears that have no factual basis. And I believe that as Capricorn learns to get rid of these fears, they're going to go through a transformation of sorts. They're going to go through a transformation of sorts that allows them to get rid of that fear, and at the same time to see every little detail of life and how it happens and how it goes, and also being able to, I guess, in a sense, provide transformation for others as well by being able to look at their details. I feel that Capricorn has been dealing with an energy that's just like not malevolent but mischievous. And when you deal with the mischievous energy, like it's very hard to it's very hard to get rid of it. I mean, that's when you have those depressive thoughts. And I feel that's what this Cobra energy is about. It's something that has been trying to mess things up in secret if necessary. And not knowing about that can really have a lot of Capricorn on their heads, literally. But I feel that we just need to listen to the messages that the universe brings to us. More so listen and go around an obstacle when an obstacle is placed on our path, instead of trying to step over it or trying to step under it, or trying to dig underneath, or having to understand that we need to take a detour at times. All right, so we're going to go ahead and clarify this, and then from there we will roll the die, and this will end or conclude this video. All right. All right, so what's going to help this instability? An overflowing cup. When you get an overflowing cup like this is the necessary need to love yourself first of all. And when you're able to love yourself, what ends up happening is that you get like a download of sorts. You get that download, and it falls into your cup, and then from your cup, it overflows out to everything else. And so, I very much feel that some of you Capricorns are going to have a new start in love, or a new love, while others of you are just going to have this new beginning, like almost like a reconciliation of sorts, that allows you to be on more even footing. I think, yeah, and there is a necessary in order for. I think what's happening here is that Capricorns understand what was necessary in order to reap what they've sown. And I very much feel that a lot of Capricorns have been in this kind of state. They've been in the hangman state, putting themselves upside down, hanging from this tree, trying to see things from a different perspective. And this new perspective has allowed them to see how they can best harvest in the future. And at the same time, understanding that certain obstacles are, yes, certain obstacles are there to overcome, but then there's other obstacles that we don't need to fight a battle for. And if you understand that, you understand right away, Capricorn, what you need to do and where you need to place your energy. Because deep down, there's a choice you have to make, but you're not making it, and you're not reaching this new state of renewal and revival. Yeah, you might have done it in on the emotional front, and like with your emotions and the feelings and stuff. But I think in some way, shape, or form, that decision hasn't yet been made on the physical front, if that makes any sense, or on the mental front. Either one of those. And because that decision has not been made, there's no renewal. Simply put, this isn't something that like you Capricorns are used to. This is something that's really out of your element. That is to say that whatever it is that you're experiencing right now is not something that has been experienced before. This is something totally new. Something. How would I explain it? This is energy to create new things, and energy to reach a certain victory. Because when you run with this energy here, this is about, I mean, this to me is a power couple. So whoever it is that you're with, I very much believe that they are the necessary soulmate at the moment. Because if you notice these two cards, they both have lions in their background on their chairs. And they have that salamander too. That salamander is a fire energy. But aside from having that, they're very courageous. They're both holding on to that one wand that I very much believe that one was being given to was given to them by the universe, but it's also that wand that we see in the ace that we see in like the 2 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, and all that. Like they're holding on to just one wand, not 10 wands like the 10 of Wands. And this is a power couple here, so I very much feel that whoever it is that you're with right now is the person who you can create a power couple with if you want to. Now, when I was talking about new beginnings or reconciliation, I think moving forward, there is going to be a new way of doing things, and along with that new way of doing things, it's going to lead you to victory. This is new things having to do with your thought process, new things having to do with how you communicate with others, as well as um, just generally making a decision. Because there's Two of Cups in the reverse. It shows to me that like maybe there might be some trouble at home for some of you Capricorns, but at the same time, I feel like there's a I feel some of you Capricorns are just sitting on something, like not making a decision on something. But you guys are letting go regardless. I know for a fact you guys are letting go because you've understood, that there needs to be effort to be placed into something, but there's also a necessary need to observe whether that tree is growing properly or whether it needs to be trimmed, right? So, so I feel like as you guys let go of things, um, there are going to be very many different things that you look at to see like what you should put your energy into and what you want to harvest, as well as trusting your intuition and understanding that any obstacles that get placed in your path are happening for you, and it's to allow you to understand a little bit more about yourself. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and roll these die to see what's going to happen with Capricorn, and then we'll go ahead and end the video from there. All right, so Capricorn, very much so that Aquarian type energy. Very much so relationships, because you have Libra right there, right underneath it. And some of you guys might be dealing with the Scorpio, some might be dealing with the Libra, others of you might be dealing with the Pisces. Now, for those of you who get into contact with the Pisces, it's very exciting news because right now, especially with Mercury and Neptune in Pisces, that's the kind of person you want to be uh, shown to, or introduced to. And they have the ability to just ramp up your passion and your creativity, and to help show you things that you've never even seen before because you haven't dug that deep. But then that's where you need to do that. Mercury, I mean, that Scorpio influence is asking you to dig deep into these spiritual concepts, these spiritual meanings, these spiritual things that you've been working on and you've been doing. Mercury. All right, so this is definitely dealing with that Mercury influence, right? And it's also dealing with the North Node influence, which is all about following where your soul's trying to take you. And it also deals with that Martian energy, which is pointing right at that. Um, I feel like as you start to become more in tune with what it is that you were put here on this planet to do, Capricorn, what's going to happen is that you're going to use that Martian energy and push it towards your North Node. If I was to look at your energy right now, you have Mars in Capricorn, but you have the North Node in Cancer. Now that, in a sense, could bring about some difficulty with like understanding how to care and nurture people and how to build that, or how to build with caring and nurturing people, caring and nurturing for people. But this is definitely something that's having to do with um, a new thought process and viewing things from a different angle. And if you can do that, Capricorn, I believe that the changes that are going on now and the changes that are going to happen here in the near future is something that's going to be supremely beneficial to you. And it's going to have the ability for you to not just become in tune with the universe completely, but it also has the ability to like have you operating on all fours, burning the candle at both ends, having like enough energy to do what you need to do and to help guide others, right? So let's see what kind of energy we're going to be dealing with in terms of numbers. 11. All right, so intuitively, you guys know that you're working towards your happiness. Of course, that 2 pops up as well as a 7. So your decisions are going to have to be made on intuition, as opposed to just trying to look for your happiness as is. Um, your intuition and the choice you make is going to very much lead to your happiness, but this is going to be something that intuitively you know. So with that ends this reading. Thank you, Capricorn. And also, this ends the reading overall for all signs. I hope that you guys can take information from this and make it work to your benefit. Now, if it doesn't fit your storyline, please do not try to fit it. Take what resonates and, just discard whatever doesn't, because, it's not meant to be put into your life. Also, for those of you who are um, not familiar with my channel, my name is David, and I am with Tarot and Astrology for All. If you guys are interested in these videos and what these videos have in terms of its content and how it's put out, or if you have any suggestions of how this could be made better, please let me know. Also, down in the comments. And also, for those of you who don't know, I am opening up personal readings once more. And also, for those of you who have asked for a personal reading before, please let me know and I will get back to you. Also, for those of you who haven't yet, go ahead and like the video if you like the information shared. Subscribe to it, hit that notification bell down at the bottom to receive personalized, notifications, and share it. I mean, if you do anything at all, I would ask that you share it. And if you could share this with everybody else that you know, then you're going to be helping other people, and you're also going to be clearing some karmic debt of your own. So can't stress that enough. Share, 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 share. If you don't like, if you don't subscribe, it doesn't matter. Just share it because there's other people that need to hear this message. So with that, I will go ahead and leave you guys for tonight. I will see you. Let me see. I will see you. Let me go back to the moon stuffs. Okay. All right. So the moon moves into Gemini at 1:39 in the morning on March 29th. So for now until the end of the 28th, this is the energy that's going to be this is the energy you guys will be dealing with. I will be back on March 29th, which is a Sunday, to do another reading like this. And I might actually break it down into various different ones just to make it that much easier to disseminate the information. And I don't know, tell me what you guys think, because I'm trying to work out how I want to do this whole thing. I had this is a certain idea, but I already know that it's probably going to change. Uranus influence. There's always changes that are going to be made due to unexpected things. So, with that being said, thank you for joining me here. Thank you for being a part of the support that I've been looking for. And I hope that you guys can take this information and allow these things that you learn from these readings to turn your life around. I mean, that's what I'm here for, is to help you guys and to help you understand what's happening in your life, why, and how you can change it. Mostly by the power of the mind. So with that, I would go ahead and leave you guys. I am David with Tarot and Astrology for All. And I hope that you guys will be back for the next video. Until then, I will see you guys.